I found their 25-ounce silver reenactment. What's up, everyone? Captain Tiger Stacker here. I served 8.5 years in the Army Guard and Reserve. During Desert Storm and Shield, my unit was never called. While I was in medical school under a partial scholarship program called the Mod V, Medicine, Osteopathic, Dentistry, and Veterinary, I was assigned to a general hospital close to my medical school, and I learned a lot. And I worked hard. So hard that I got a promotion. Now, this is a different type of hat. My other hats have somehow disappeared. This is the only one I have remaining that I can find. This is from my dress blues uniform. And as I said, I worked hard because when you're a medical student, you're a second lieutenant. When you're a doctor, the lowest rank is captain. But I worked myself up to first lieutenant, something that most medical students did not do. Whether they didn't want to or they couldn't, I don't know. Didn't care. I'm a goal seeker. I like to seek out my goals. And I became a first lieutenant. Then when I graduated medical school, I became a captain. Some of the proudest days of my life was in the General Hospital and then later a Land and Air Cavalry unit in the Pennsylvania National Guard. My units were never called to duty. It was a scary time. I was a medical student and then later an intern. When you're an intern, you have a lot of book knowledge, but not a lot of experience. So I was always afraid that I would make a mistake and hurt our own boys. But fortunately, our unit never got called. Fortunately for our boys, and also fortunately that I didn't get called only having a little bit of knowledge. But the men in my cavalry unit really enjoyed the time I spent with them because I didn't just sit back as a lot of doctors did. I got involved. I learned how to drive armored personnel vehicles, load automatic weapons, do all sorts of things. So I was allowed to get to do more things than some other people did. Believe it or not, this video is about silver, but it's also about memories, patriotism, and I bleed red, white, and blue. Before I show you the silver, please understand, this silver is silver. It's in the shape of rounds used in the military. They are not real. They have no gunpowder in them. This is solely silver reenactments. And as you can see on the bottom of this grouping of 10, it's a 1-ounce group of silver in the shape of a .45 ACP, one of the very first weapons I qualified with. But at that time, they were also talking about leaving the .45, a weapon that they'd used for many, many years, over many wars, and going to the 9mm to keep us compatible with NATO. But their 9mm were more powerful. And yes, since I also qualified with a 9mm, this silver reenactment is also one of the things I've just recently acquired. I bought this one about 3+ years ago from Money Metals Exchange, and I found the 9mm reenactment, which is a ½ ounce of silver, also at Money Metals Exchange. But I also wanted to get other things. I wanted a complete set. From Silver Seeker, approximately a year ago, I got a 2-ounce round. This is more like a 30-06, something I used to go hunting deer with. I was actually more accurate with a muzzleloader. And since I enjoyed hunting rabbits, I made sure that when the price came right, I got a 5-ounce silver reenactment of a 12 gauge. from Hero Bullion. Never was really much of a hunter. Mainly I went out for the sport and hanging out with my friends. Then from Guido stacking, in September 23, I got a 10-ounce 50 caliber, which I really enjoyed because my unit used to shoot 50 calibers. I missed the cavalry. And then my last, and certainly not least, round that I got, this time again from Money Metals Exchange. Because at that time, early on, I could only find these rounds, any rounds, from Money Metals Exchange, so I got those. And then just recently this year, I got the 9mm. And at the same time, I found their 25-ounce silver reenactment. Something that would come out of a very, very big weapon. Something you won't see very much in the civilian sector. And there are times when I really miss the military, miss being a flight sergeant, miss all the hijinks, hanging out with the guys, hanging out with my men in my medical unit in the cavalry, and it's how much I learned from my physician's assistant, who was a physician's assistant for many, many years. Because it's been so long ago, most of their names I can't remember anymore. So as we approach a very important day, please remember to include in your thought process what's important to you for this country, what's important to your family. For me, protecting my family is important. Protecting our country is important. And I should know about protecting our country because, like so many others, I'm a vet. And if called to duty, I would go, even at my age. So do what's right for your families. Do what's right for this country. And as President Kennedy said many years ago, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Captain Tiger, signing out.